I just spoke to him. We're going there. Okay, if I could, let me get your attention, please, members and visitors. Thank y'all for being here today, and look forward to taking care of the business of the people for education here. And members, thank you for coming on this Monday afternoon. Let me begin. Representative Wade, do you mind opening us up with prayer? What's your number down there? 27. Thank you.
All that will. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all the blessings that you've given us, the duties that we have before us. Let us take our jobs and what we do more serious than we take ourselves. Guide us and protect us, and always let us do what we do in service to honor your Son and the children in our communities. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. We are blessed today to have not only the Senate here, but we've got the chairman of education for the Senate here. And Mr. Chairman, if you would come up here to the middle, we're going to let you go first. And do appreciate your bill that you have presented to us, and appreciate the work y'all are doing in the Senate for education in this state, and then that you're heading up. And members here have noticed that. They've spoke to me and mentioned it. I wanted you to hear from us specifically that y'all started studying some things this summer. Matter of fact, we'll talk about one of those, I believe, shortly too. But thank you for your work, is what I'd say. And with that, do you have a LC number in front of you that you could read out to us, and then I'll give you the floor.
Here, we had a committee amendment in your subcommittee. We had a change because initially in the bill it had where children could carry naloxone or Narcan, and it was a friendly amendment that we took that out. The last one I've got is actually when we made a floor amendment to it.
We're going to hand you this one and just verify that, if you would, Chairman. And
yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, this is correct.
In agreement, would you read that LC numbers for these members, and then the floor is yours.
That's LC 49-1900S, what we've got.
Yep. Sounds
and do want to commend you and your House Education Committee on your work. I always joke with your chairman that he's forgotten more about education than I'll ever know. But I tell you, the House is the bills that y'all brought to us, and working with you has been a great pleasure, and grateful learning a lot about education from you. So, yeah, thank you for your work as well. But committee members, Mr. Chairman, grateful to be able to bring SB 395 before you today. This bill is named Wesley's Law. It's named after my cousin. This has personal impacts on my family. It's named after my wife's first cousin, Wesley Gay. He passed away. He took a substance, and unbeknownst to him, it had fentanyl in it, and he lost his life. And that's the intent of this bill is, currently in schools, only the school nurse can administer naloxone or Narcan, and it has to be kept in the clinic. And as we all know, when someone experiences an overdose, within 3 to 5 minutes, they could lose their life. So this bill would make it more readily available within the schools, where teachers, administrators, visitors, if they're adults, could carry it and administer it. There's no known side effects from administering the drug, and there's no requirements on any type of training or education that you've got to have. It's just a nasal swab. It also requires schools to keep it on hand, but that language is left vague in case there's a shortage of it, or if funds aren't available for it. We didn't tighten up that language because we didn't want to penalize schools if they weren't able to obtain it, whether it was funding or if there was a shortage of the drug as well. And then we also in the language, we created immunity from liability, whether a teacher or administrator decides to administer it or decides not to if they believe someone's having an overdose. So we've added that language in there as well. And then it also gives immunity to school systems as well, because we assume that would be, if there was a lawsuit brought, that would be where they may go after. So we created that immunity within the bill. But with that, be happy to answer any questions from the committee.
Well, first of all, Mr. Chairman, thank you for this bill and bringing this before us. We've got 3 goals in this committee we talk about at every meeting, and that's safety, literacy, and great policy. And this definitely hits on 2 of those, safety and great policy for this state. So thank you for helping us check our boxes as we go through it here. And if you would, you do have a couple of questions if you're willing to take these here. Chairman Dubnik.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Chairman, for bringing this bill. For the committee's information and knowledge, you know, a number of years ago, not that many years ago, a gentleman out of my district, one of my constituents, who unfortunately is no longer with us, Dallas Gay, took it upon himself after his grandson's unfortunate and untimely passing due to an overdose to see that naloxone became something that could be distributed across the counter, over the counter, and that you know, he gave up his business and devoted his life to that cause so that other families didn't have to deal with that. And Mr. Chairman, I'm very, very proud to support this bill and at the appropriate time.
Great. Thank you, Chairman. Let's get another question here. Number 24, is that?
Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Townsend?
Yes, sir. Chairman, thank you again for this bill. I totally agree with you, and I'm sorry for your loss. We've had somebody I know, too, as well, that died of a similar situation, and kind of hit home. When you started talking about it, it kind of hit me. I love everything about the bill. Only thing I was going to say, if you change your mind about the amendment, just make it a require, make it a shall instead of may. I'd be glad to offer an amendment. The money's not an issue for schools. They got plenty of money for something like this. But I'm going to respect your wishes, and I'll support you 100%.
Okay, thank you. Representative. Number 21, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know we don't take testimony in full committee, but it seems like there's a good number of people behind you here to support the bill. And I know if I'm reading your shirts right, it says Rabun, which I'm from the metro area, but that seems far away. So if you're here to support the bill, do you mind just standing so we can look at that? Awesome. Mm-hmm. I just want to thank you all for coming down to your capital and just everything you are fighting for. From what I've heard, it means a lot to this committee, and it's important. Your presence means something. So thank you for this. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Vice Chair, and thank you, visitors, and for your dedication to a worthy cause here. Members, this is the appropriate time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that Senate Bill 395 do pass.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Hearing no further questions or discussion, let's vote. All those in favor of this bill say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. Bill passes. Chairman, thank you for this bill. I need to ask you, would you want to carry this bill?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Dubnik has agreed to carry the bill. Also offered the friendly amendment in subcommittee. Grateful for your work on that, and I know this bill is very important to your district as well, and the constituent that you lost and the work that he did that carries and has saved countless lives. And I thank his family for all the work they've done.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I appreciate your time today. As you step down off the podium there, I'll mention to you that there's some of these on both sides of me have some bills in your committee. They're going to look forward to their opportunity to get in front of you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's stop for a minute. Is the Rules Chair from the Senate? Is he in the room? I do not see Chairman Brass. All right, how about Chuck Payne, Chairman Payne from the Senate? Let's do this because I do know that at least one of those have texted me, and that they'll be here momentarily. So members, if you would, let's just recess just for 5 minutes in hopes that these two come in the door, and as soon as they get in the door, we'll start back up. Come on, Chairman. Okay. If I can, let's call this meeting back to order. We've got Chairman Brass here now to go over with us. Chairman, thank you for being here. We were bragging on your Chairman of Education just a minute ago at what good work y'all are doing, and this one that you had brought before the committee is another good one that I think will impact this state and children in a positive way. So thank you for your efforts. I know y'all worked hard on this summer too.
Yes, sir. We did.
Quite a bit. But if you would you read the LC number so we're sure we're all reading off that, and then I'm going to give you the floor, Chairman.
Sure. It's LC 491894S.
Correct. It's yours.
All right. Thank you. And before I get going, Chairman Dubnick and I did work hard on this in the off season, and had a joint study committee. Several of your members on this, Chair Lady Ballard and Representative Townsend, were all served with us and did a great job. And really that study committee, what came out of it was we found that the dual enrollment program was a little complex and in some cases too complex. And so we really wanted to simplify it. And so this bill, along with one of the governor's bills that's coming forward, is really the work of that study committee. And so what we're doing specifically in this bill as far as simplicity goes is we're taking it from, what we found is on high demand career fields, there's actually 2 lists out there right now. And so we thought that was, there's no point in that. And in order to make sure that dual enrollment stays sustainable, we got to simplify it, and first thing we had to do was get control of that list. The only way to do that is to get it down to one list. And so that's part of what this bill does. Another part is on, what are we doing? So we're also creating what's called the ACE grant, and this is an accelerated career education. And the ACE grant really is kind of a product out of student finance, and President Lynn Riley has been very instrumental in helping us craft that. And really with that program, it's so good that we were starting it out as a pilot program. So the original bill that I introduced, SB 440, was that ACE grant program was actually going to be a pilot program, but the governor's office liked it so much they gave us the go-ahead and take the pilot piece off. And so that's what this is doing, is making that permanent. Another thing we had to do, we had a sunset. If you remember back in Senate Bill 86 last year, when we were removing that 30-hour requirement for Hope Career grant funding, when we removed that, we did put a sunset on it. And so it had a 3-year sunset. And so we're extending the program, but we also need to extend that sunset, because what we don't want is a kid to start this program in his sophomore year and then that sunset by the end of his junior year. And so that's the last part of this bill. And I'm kind of jumping around here because I ran straight from the Senate floor and don't have any notes with me. And then what else did we do? Irene, there's one other major thing we did. A lot of it is Section 2. A lot of that is our cleanup language. If you look at lines 129 through 154, is just deleting conflicting language with the statute that defines that accelerated career, and defines by referring the accelerated career diploma, which is in that code section 20-2-149. And then let me back up into Section 1. That's where we're actually naming that ACE program. And then lines 21 through 59, we're clarifying that high school academic courses, or defining what they are, and allows for the academic flexibility in math, which in our what we saw in the study committee, we visited Albany, where we looked at their CNA program, and then we visited Noonan, where it's manufacturing. And so we wanted to give them a little bit more flexibility with that math course. So that's that lines 21 through 59. And then lines 60 through 82. This is aligning the two TCCs to high demand careers as identified by the technical college system. And it's in line with the governor's HB 982 that I kind of referenced earlier. And it requires that this diploma path is only available for technical college, TCCs, diplomas, or associate degrees in applied science. And so what this does, it ensures that the diploma is designed in partnership with technical college technical programs, and it provides students with a post-second credential to allow them to go directly into the workforce. So again, the overall goal here is to get kids credentialed faster, and we do that by getting them through their coursework in their sophomore and junior years, and then their senior years they're focused solely on credentialing or internships. That way, day one, when they graduate, they're ready for the workforce. And that's, in my humble opinion, this could be a game changer as far as dual enrollment goes. And again, overall goal is making sure we got a program that's sustainable, because it's something that I do believe in is one of the best things we do in education in this state. And I think we do it better than any other state in the country. And in order to maintain that, we have to make sure it's sustainable. And that was the purpose of our study committee. And I feel like we did a great job of coming up with some really good recommendations. And this, again, is culmination of that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Great job of studying this. Great job of writing this.
I didn't write it. I can't take credit.
Simplifying it. I will say that so often many of our graduates from high school need an opportunity to go straight out and work.
Yes, sir.
This gives them a clear path that they can get to that goal that they need for themselves and their families. I'll also point to you that the gentleman you've asked to carry this in the House, I think, is 100% on getting Senate bills passed through the House, and that is Chairman Dubnik down
love
there
it.
as the Senate cleanup hitter for y'all in the House.
We need more of them over there.
Exactly. So he's the first one to push his button, too. I'm going to let him talk about it as he served on that. So.
Thank you, Chairman Irwin. Thank you, Chairman Brass, for bringing this. Mr. Chairman, isn't it true that because of some of the changes that we're making here and the way that we're going to align how these students can get through these courses, that we will probably actually see a reduction in cost when it comes to some of the line items that are in here and how we specifically address cost, that they'll be able to access this grant, and we can put them out with those credentials that you mentioned at a lower cost than currently we're doing.
That's correct. And if I remember correctly, again, I don't have all my notes in front of me, but I think the same program through University of Georgia for 30 credit hours, you're looking at about a $10,000 cost. Maybe I think it's $10,200. Same program with 60 hours through technical college system runs about just, I think it's $6,500. So you're talking about a $4,000 savings to parents, students in the state.
Great. How about just a clarification for me, Mr. Chairman? Is there money in the budget, and this might be more to you, Chairman Dubnik, for the ACE grant?
There is my understanding.
Yes. The answer is that there is, but again, I think at minimum, if we were just simply redirecting dollars, right, from one program to another, we're still going to see savings, but there are dollars there.
There are.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Got you. Thank you. All right. Who is 10 down there? Is that you, Representative Howard?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for this bill as well. That may help me with the explanation that we get. My question was on lines 92 through 93. Can you kind of clarify for me what's the purpose of the grant? Why would they need a grant to complete this program? And my other question was, where was there money already available for that?
So it's basically going to allow the current dual enrollment funds to distinguish between academic and technical, and so that's part of it. What line? You said 92?
Yes, 92, yeah. Starting with that, what is the Georgia Student Finance Commission? Who is that? Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, what do y'all do? I know they're responsible for the 529 plan.
Okay.
They have Hope Scholarship. They do the Goal. Isn't it Goal? What else? Reach.
I heard of reach. Yeah.
Dual enrollment.
Okay. Okay.
All that good stuff.
And money is available. It's already available.
Correct.
It's
The
nothing
money's
added.
there. We're having to. One thing we found during the study committee was that for dual enrollment, we were pulling money from pots all over the budget. And so again, this bill is kind of lining it up to where we're just pulling from one single pot. Is that, yeah, and that's the dual enrollment pot. We're housing it in one area instead of all over our state government. And I
Okay.
think that's a lot of that language you're seeing in there. So
We'll go to number 24.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman, thank you again for this and your support for technical education. I think what we saw in that committee too is the different regions of the state, whether it's Noonan where you guys are from or Albany or other places, are taking advantage of this, and it's helping students out. And we saw data just from this year of how that some of those motivated students can really make a difference, and it is a game changer. So appreciate your support, and at the appropriate time, make a motion.
Let's get a couple more questions, and we'll get back to you, Representative. Number 26, Representative Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Mr. Chair, for bringing this bill. And I am excited about that. I've read about the study committee, but I haven't attended, all the hearings. And I just want to compliment everyone on your work on this. But I just wanted to confirm. So dual enrollment doesn't pull from K through 12 schools. Is that right? No funding goes from K through 12 to dual enrollment, or does it? That's what I was kind of unclear about.
no, my understanding is basically flows through the technical college system.
Great. And so will now dual enrollment will pull from, you said academic and technical. And so is that money in the lottery money, or is that in our general fund?
No, that's a line item in the budget.
It's a line item in the
correct.
budget.
Yeah, it's
So
in
it
the
doesn't have
general
anything to do
fund.
with the lottery.
It has
Okay.
nothing to do with the lottery, no.
All righty. And then on both the academic and technical side, is it a limit of 30 credit hours for dual enrollment?
Yeah, we didn't touch the cap. What we did was we removed the requirement that you had to have 30 hours before you tap into the Hope Career Grant funding, which is a whole separate pot. But that was the goal.
And why was that necessary?
That was so that kids could begin their coursework they could begin the program a year earlier, beginning in their sophomore year, completing it by their junior year, and then again, I stated this earlier, but get into in their senior year, focus solely on a credential or an internship, so that when the day they graduate, they can walk straight into that workforce and do whatever job they just trained to do. And they can do it with a 2-year associate's degree.
That's awesome. Maybe just one more. So
Yes.
just so to a student like that, so they would pull from the dual enrollment technical grant their sophomore and junior year, which is this ACE grant we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then if they complete that, then they would use, what would they use their senior year?
They
would
could use the Hope Career Grant
The Hope
funding,
Career
correct?
Grant.
Am I saying that right?
So there's an ACE,
I don't know.
And a
I might
Hope.
be getting confused now. That might be a better question for
okay,
phone a friend.
all right, okay.
Thank you. Last question up is number 27, floor leader.
I just want to tell the sponsor of the bill thanks for the legislation, and I was going to say at the appropriate time, but also wanted to highlight in my district, the schools that have this, we have not just 100% graduation rate, we have 100% employment rate, and this is actually going to help because we've got employers that would love to see the apprenticeship or the internship opportunities happen for on-the-job partnerships a year earlier because those students are ready. And this, I think, is going to, like you said, it's going to be a game changer for those students who happen to be, in many cases, the breadwinners in their families. And so I'm fully supported at the appropriate time.
And and I'll add to that too. There's going to be now more money for the employers to encourage them to hire these kids. Did I say that right? Oh, never mind. Different bill. Sorry, I got a lot of bills in my head right now.
You quit throwing him a curveball floor later.
Uh,
All right, here we go.
You tried to throw me a softball. It is a good bill.
Exactly. All right, exhausted the questions here, and again, good bill, Chairman. Representative Townsend, I believe you had come up with.
Yes, sir. I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Second. Yep, we got a second. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Moving
Thank you,
on,
committee.
and Dubnik will be carrying it. Gotcha. All right, Chairman Payne, didn't I see you come in the room? Did he step out? He had to step out? On the floor.
Didn't tell me what to do, he just said I gotta go.
Okay.
Wendy, somebody who's carrying it?
Let's do this. He is presenting. Let's suspend again for 5 or 10 minutes, see if he can get back. I did see him walk in here. So if y'all would just suspend just for 5 minutes here.
I could share some stretches my chiropractor told me. Little PT over here.
swim season.
Something you don't know. All right, committee members, if y'all would come back in and let's hear our final bill of the day. And Chairman Payne, thank you for coming, and thank you. I know you and I have discussed this bill quite a few times, and so thank you for your hard work on this bill and communication to us on this bill. I know you've been running. I think you just came straight off the Senate floor, so if you need a minute to get your breath. Hey, got you.
Again.
Great. Well, if you would, read your LC number, and then I'll give you the floor, Chairman.
The LC number I'm working from is LC 491887S.
Wait a minute. Let me
that
make
correct?
sure I got that one in front of me. Yep, we got it. Floor's yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee. It's good to be here with you. I'm a little bit out of breath, so if I have to pause while I'm talking, just bear with me. Senate Bill 169, simply, what does it do? It amends current law to require timely school disciplinary hearings for students within 15 school days unless a parent requests an extension, and requires schools to provide instructional material to students waiting for the disciplinary process to end. And as a juvenile probation officer for 30 years, I can't tell you the countless times I had kids that these are already your behavior problem kids, but when they get suspended school because of the level of the problems, a lot of times they were just lingering out there with no school work. So we're just trying to make sure we kind of tighten that up and make sure that these kids are getting what they need, even though they're suspended from school. And I'll be glad to answer any questions if you have any.
Great. And again, I'll say, Chairman, I appreciate the communication on this, the hard work for it, trying to make sure these students get the instruction they deserve from us, no matter what their situation is. And committee members, I think you've read this bill many times before. So I don't see any questions at all, Mr. Chairman. So what's the will of the committee? Motion do pass. Do we have a second? All right. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. Your bill passes. Thank you. Sorry we ran you 2 times instead
Thank you,
of just
Mr. Chairman.
once. But
Thank y'all so much.
great
Thank you all
job,
so
great
much.
bill. Appreciate it. We'll move this forward. Now, who is carrying? Is Representative Cox carrying this for you? Who's carrying it?
I believe so. I believe so.
Okay. You good with that, Representative?
I believe so.
All right. Hey, visitors, thank you for coming today, and we are adjourned.